Definitely the pressure is on because you're going to look at Tyronn Lue. They're always going to end there with the coach. You got all these guys, you know, these are the guys that you wanted. These are the guys that you said you had to have, you know, to dominate. And of course, let's all be serious. They are trying to build a team to beat the Warriors because they feel if they build a team that can beat the Warriors, then they'll take care of the East, which makes sense. Makes sense make all the sense in the world. You build a team that can combat the Golden State Warriors, you should win the East. Now, Boston is balling, not lately. They lost four straight, but they look like they have the nucleus and the chemistry that they need to make a run. And they're doing this without Gordon Hayward. So in the future, this is probably a problem because I don't see Gordon Hayward playing this year. So and if he did play this year, I don't know how much he could give them, you know, trying to get his legs under him after missing probably almost the entire season. You know, so I'm not even going to go, you know, into anything like that. But it's almost close. It's almost close to panic time. And I always say we need to wait. We need to wait until the end of the All-Star game. After that, after All-Star weekend, that's where everything starts lining up. That's where everybody starts making their move. That's where everybody starts positioning themselves. And I think that's where we really will find out what Cleveland Cavalier team the NBA has. They're either going to sink or they're going to swim. You got LeBron James, of course. Yes, he's going to be, you know, the biggest difference maker, you know, of that team. But he still has to have the pieces around him. And this is no way I'm blaming everybody else and not LeBron or anything like that. I'm just saying, we all know LeBron is the centerpiece. And then you got all these pieces that are supposed to fit around him. And if it doesn't work, if it does not work, then you're going to see the weakness in this team. And the biggest thing has been defense. Defense. I just, and we talk about it every year with them. Could they be just bored? I don't know. I hope not. I mean, you got a bunch of guys on this team that haven't won anything. Jeff Green hasn't won a championship. Derrick Rose haven't sniffed the championship. And this no knock. Jay Crowder, he hasn't won anything. So Jose Calderon, I'm just saying, well, Jose might have been on the Golden State team. But regardless, it's a lot of guys on this team that haven't sniffed the championship game or the Eastern Conference Final. And then there's guys that was on the team last year and they got eliminated. So they got that. So there's no real reason for why you should have this slippage, you know, with the Cleveland Cavaliers as far as like defense. Shouts out to Thorny Switch. She just pointed out something that I was going to bring up. She was asking, is Dan going to sell the Cavs? That's a new, you know, drama to throw into the bucket. You know, is he really going to sell the team? Is he trying to get, you know, LeBron to commit, you know, for an extended period of time so he can maximize selling the team and making the most money as possible? I don't know. You know, could LeBron stay because Dan leave? You know, that's going to be a side story. So people are going to be talking, you know, about that. So that is, you know, a legitimate situation that could impact their season. Because at that point, when you got new ownership possibly could look at new executives, and then new executives possibly look at new players, and then players start thinking, where do I fit in? Do I need to go out here and just get mine? Do I need to just go ahead and forget, you know, this whole team stuff because we already know LeBron going to get his, or LeBron's going to leave, or LeBron's going to do this, he's going to do that, whatever. But 3-7 is not good. Could they turn this around? Yes, they could definitely turn this around. But they need to do it fast. I'm still leaning on the side of, you know, this is not, you know, as big of a deal. It's a deal, but not as big as everybody's making it. But I'm coming a little bit closer to, it may be almost time to hit the panic button. So we will see what will happen. We'll see what happened. I would give them, honestly, I would give the Cleveland Cavaliers to really find out who they are as a team and what they are going to be about in the playoffs. I'll give them in the first 10 days of March. Whatever they do in those first 10 days of March will determine what they're going to be going into the playoffs. Now, I know that's, you're like, man, the season is almost over. Yep, but they're gearing up at that point. So shouts out to some of the people that's in the chat room, man. Mr. Hopper is in the building as well. DJ Dollars and Cents. Mocha Bella, she's here for the Big L Awards, I'm sure. We will be doing that. The governor of Minnesota, Vince Wright, he is also in here. And I already said Thorny Switch, but I'm going to say it again. Thorny Switch is in the building, a.k.a. the lady that calls me the Wave God. Yeah, I love that. And Matt Farrell and some other folks are also in the building. I'm going to get to y'all. Don't worry. I will get to y'all in a minute. But we're going to move on. We're going to stay in the NBA. But also some news that came down that was very surprising to me. I was very surprised to hear this news. And Vince Wright asked, was I a Piston fan? Yes, I am a Piston fan, Vince Wright. But Jason Kidd got the boot. And that news to me just came out of nowhere. I know, there was some rumors about, how, he fit with the executives there and some of his methods, with the players, and everything. But I really did not think that the Milwaukee Bucks would give him the boot and get him up out of there. They are 23-22 at this point in the season, or actually I think 24-22 because they beat the Suns last night. But Jason Kidd got fired 4 hours before the tip-off of yesterday's game, and now interim coach Joe Prunty is who's taking over, who's going to be coaching this team for the foreseeable future. At this point, we don't know what will happen, going forward, but whatever. He got the job. He's got the responsibility. We'll see what happens. And then, the crazier part to this story is that they're saying, Giannis Antetokounmpo called Jason Kidd, offering, he would try and call to save his job. And then they're saying Jason Kidd, these are reports. They're saying that, hey, Jason Kidd said, nope, hey, it is what it is. And I understand why Jason Kidd did it, because there's nothing, Giannis could have did that would have prolonged it or had him around for the next 2, 3, 4 years or anything like that. If anything, he might would have made it to the end of the season and then they still would have fired him. So the writing was on the wall. So Jason Kidd, declined it. Giannis trying to help him out. And the Bucks, the thing that throws me off about the Bucks is that you got Giannis that's coming up pretty soon, that you want to sign him and keep him, and he said he wants to stay there. And one of the first things, or not first things, but one of the things you do is get rid of the coach that he, loves. Makes you think, maybe, Giannis, this is his first, coach. So he always, he gonna ride with his coach and everything. But it makes you think, what do the Bucks have in store? What do they have planned? Matt Farrell feels that Giannis will bolt in free agency. This is what he's talking about in the chat room, in the Wait a Minute Show chat room. I don't know, Matt. And that's something that you have to really, really take into consideration. And the next person, the next coach that comes in here, it cannot be somebody that's trying to figure it out. It has to either be somebody that Giannis knows in that organization already and he's comfortable with, or you got to have someone that everybody in the league respects, which points me to, could they hire a guy like Mark Jackson? Now, someone asked the question, why Mark Jackson isn't working, as an NBA coach. And I think the real biggest thing of why he's not working as a coach is Mark Jackson is in a position right now. He's working for the ESPN. He's working as an color. He's doing the games, and I think he's getting paid pretty well. And anytime a coaching position comes up, I think his name will pop up. So I think he's just waiting for the right opportunity, a la John Gruden. I'll keep riding this, NBA, calling games and everything, keep making my money until the right opportunity comes along. Now, the one thing about it is that, like I said before, they were talking about how he rubbed people, or how Jason Kidd rubbed people the wrong way to a certain degree. Well, that was kind of the knock, on Mark Jackson, is that, he I don't want to say he didn't get along with management, but, they had a difference of opinions. Let's just put it that way, as far as like how things should be handled. And Mark Jackson felt really strong about how things should go. And it is just, at the end of the day, his bosses had the last say. So they let him go. They get Steve Kerr, and we already know the rest is history as far as like how that plays out. But I think Mark Jackson will be awesome. He will be excellent for, Milwaukee. That city would love him. He definitely knows his basketball. He's very respected. I think a guy like Giannis would definitely invite him in and quickly fall in love with him. Mark Jackson is a no-nonsense guy. Maybe he's learned a little bit, from his interactions from management before, and not necessarily, a bad learning or anything like that. Just, hey, I would handle things a little bit different, with it. You have a guy in Eric Bledsoe. They're getting Jabari Parker back. You still got, veterans like Jason Terry on that team to help out. Brogdon, that's on that team. Young talent. Chris Middleton. So, I mean, this team, everyone's looking at this team and they're saying they should be performing better and they should be having a better win percentage than they have right now. Maybe Mark Jackson is the guy. I definitely like that, But I just think really, Mark Jackson is looking for the right opportunity, And you listen to the Wait a Minute show with your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, and we're almost at the 9:30 mark where we should hear from my guy, Jason Kanno, to get into a little convo with Kanno and talk about this NFL world that we live in and all the news that's going on. So in 2 minutes, we should, hear from him, hopefully. But yeah, Jason Kidd, gone. But here's the thing. Jason Kidd will fall on his feet. I think he'll get with another team somewhere. Maybe not the NBA, but I think he will be a head coach at some level. Maybe go to college, at this point. Or he may find a job in the NBA, A coach will probably get fired at the end of the year. Or another coach could meet their maker, during the season at this point. But it was just surprising. Like, I really would have thought they would have waited to the end of the year to see if, with Eric Bledsoe, if they could have made some moves. Because Eric Bledsoe hasn't been there that long, and see if they could have made some moves. And especially if they make the playoffs, which they were, very close to it. And there's still a lot of basketball to be played, before the playoffs start. They could have changed everything around, but very, very, very surprising, on it, to say the least. But we wish them all the well. Whoever comes in, they need to know that they have themselves a big task, because Milwaukee will not be waiting around. They're 7th right now, so they did win yesterday at 24-22 right now. So we'll see what happened. And this should be my guy Kanno calling right now, and it is So, ladies and gentlemen, who I have on the phone with us today, I told you at 9:30 we were going to be contacted by my NFL